spoken word artist. What's up, El?
What's good? I'm here.
You're here. This is Sippin' Discusses Double Shot Series. I am Michelle Mosley.
And I'm Richie Blue.
And on this series, we like to find out what our favorite entrepreneurs, artists like to sip on when they have those fun or deep conversations. And today we have with us spoken word artist El Vintage. What's up, El?
What's good, y'all? I'm in the building.
We here. So, El, what do you like to sip on when you're having those fun or deep conversations with friends?
Y'all trying to set us up. I'll do, I'm a tequila person.
Hey, really?
I'm Patron, Jose Cuervos. You know, I stick with the two. But yeah, tequila sunrise, no splash of cranberry or something. A little sprig of lime.
Yeah, those tequila sunrises look good. I never had one. We should make one.
Oh yeah.
We should definitely make one.
Other than that, lately, I actually put together like a little punch one day, kind of like sangrias with wine, white and red wine.
Oh, you made some jumbo juice?
Yeah, jumbo juice.
Was it some juice or was it just all jumbo?
It was usually all jumbo. Mostly all jumbo.
So, El, what made you choose to become a poet?
Well, when I was a kid, a lot of people don't go back into their family history. When I was growing up, theater arts was big in my family. It didn't matter if we was like sitting around the table at dinner, or we was getting together for a barbecue or birthday parties. It was always some type of action. Like it was always somebody reciting something or performing or doing a skit. And believe it or not, just stemming from that, just helped me see really what I wanted to do and what I wanted to be. And I love writing, so writing was like, it was my go-to. You know, it was a way for me to release all my issues or things that I was thinking about. So writing was like nothing to me. And when I was in second, third grade, my teacher, Miss Reynolds. You remember Miss Reynolds?
Yeah.
Miss Carol Reynolds. She's the truth.
Isn't her son that's the one whose son was a football player, right? A professional football
I think so. I think he was. I think he played some type of profession.
Yeah.
But she used to urge us to write in the journal. She used to give us a journal. Whenever we went away from break, we would take the journal home with us, and then we would come back and we would write whatever was going on. She would give us a topic, and you just write whatever it is. And so that right there helped me to see like there was power in my pen. You know what I mean? I could write, and I was good at it. You know, and writing don't talk back to you. It don't cuss you out. It don't tell you ain't word nothing. You just write the words and look at, and it grows its own life. So being a poet now, it just really put in perspective like all of the things that had happened before and all of the people that imparted those type of arts, James Baldwin and Langston Hughes. And my favorite poet is Paul Laurence Dunbar and Edgar Allan Poe. And so like growing up, those are the things that I put in place, like, okay, I could use this as my armor. And so when I actually got the opportunity to hit a stage, I didn't want to go. I literally was like, nah, I don't want people stealing my work. Negative. You remember Grant from Oz?
Mm-hmm.
Man, listen, my cousin was like, you gonna get out here. And I literally ran around the whole building until like they called my name on the mic and I was like, oh, you really did that? And then I got up there and recited.
And now you fell in love with it.
Man, and I've been on the stages ever since. I've been rocking the stage and the mic ever since. It's like my second home. It's my therapy. You know what I mean? So that's really what I started.
I think we did have a conversation before about the stage being our therapy.
Yeah.
And we did discuss that how sometimes you could be going through something and you just spill it all out.
As soon as you hit that mic.
Yeah.
I don't even, and what's crazy is sometimes, right, I'm a lot of times I spit right off the top of my head. So usually I can perform my piece first, and then I'll go back and I'll write it all down and I'll start recording it. Like I'm so backwards, that's backwards, I'm so backwards. But for me, that's how you build and that's how you really find your voice. And so like, I would hit the stage and I would be with music or it would be just no music. And I would be sitting in front of the crowd and whatever I feel from the crowd, that's what I work out. So it's like, that would be my therapy. That's how I calm down from listen, that might save me from dropping a lot of people. Like, I mean, like fist fighting and I had access to guns and knives. I had access to anything I wanted. But being on stage really set the tone for really what I wanted to be, and it kept me away from all the crap. You know what I'm saying? So I used my fire across the stage. So if you knew you was messing with me, if you knew you said something about me, and I couldn't get to you right there, as soon as I hit that mic, I'm spitting it all out over the mic, literally. And you're gonna remember, because I'm gonna shout your name out.
Oh, wow.
So I'm gonna put you on blast.
Right shit.
And that's how you gotta be, because people think you're not.
I will act you.
Yeah, exactly. People think that you're not about it. They call you bluff. You know what I mean? Take your niceness for weakness. And when you really confront people, and you on that mic and you on that stage, and they sitting right there in the audience, that's the best feeling ever. And then you just drop everything on the mic. And then by the time they leave, they're like, damn, she ain't put me out like that. She ain't to do that to me like that.
Nice.
Sorry. Not sorry.
Now, if you had to use 3 words to describe your poetry, what would they be?
Love, power, and realism. I don't like to fake in front of people. If you know me, you know me. You know. That L's not gonna get on the mic and sugarcoat not a damn thing. Whatever happens right there. That means it was meant to happen in that moment, and there was a reason behind it, right?
Yes.
I don't sugarcoat nothing. That's not. Everybody that knows me knows that I'm an upfront and personal kind of person. So if I can't be real, you might as well forget it. If I can't throw some love out there, and no matter what stage I get on, no matter where I go, I always tell people I love you. I love you, sis. I love you, sis. I love you, bro. And that's how I allow people to know, like, look, I'm not no monster. Don't approach me like you're afraid of me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just as simple and loving as anybody else. And then when it comes down to making sure people left, I love to make sure people are left with something they can take with them. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna infuse all that fire and you're not giving it to somebody, you're not putting it in somebody, your purpose is not really going anywhere. And so when you leave whatever stage or setting, even if you see me on a Zoom, by the time you leave that Zoom, you will feel empowered. Because I gotta transmit everything that I got. You know what I'm saying? So that's that energy.
Right, yeah, people can definitely feel that realism. That's always a good thing.
And that's important. A lot of people don't, we don't take time to think about how we are leaving people.
Yeah.
What are we leaving people with when we leave them, when we depart? How do you feel once we depart? How have I left you feeling? And that's good.
I've actually had people who have, and this, like I said, I never ever boast about me or brag about me. I let other people speak for who I am. Because if you see me out there, you're like, yo. Like one sister, I spoke at the women's conference, women's march, 2020. And this, when I tell you, there's a lady from Cape May who says, no matter what it is, if she sees I'm posting, she says, oh, we're gonna be there. Even if you're on Zoom, we're gonna be there. And she's not just bringing herself, she brings a whole crowd. Like, yo, y'all gotta hear her. I'm like, oh, okay, word. That's support. You know what I'm saying? But when you got people that's out there that's going through in their minds, I've served people that, and when I say serve, poetry is servitude. It's you're serving the people, the masses, the ears. I've served people that were on the brink of committing suicide. And they have ran me down in the dark. Mind you, I'm running away from them. Like, yo, why are you running behind me? But they'll run me down and say, listen, please can I have a hug? You have no idea what I was going through. Thank you for saving my mind and saving me because nobody else will hear me. It's those kind of things that make me realize I'm encouraged and this is really my purpose. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we talked about that too. I'm sorry, y'all. Like, I was like,
It's
because we had that conversation with you. I remember when I came to see you perform. Yes, and I watched you and I said, Elle, you are walking in your purpose. Like
that right there is what I live for.
That's what I felt after watching you perform. It was no force, it was no, it was a light. And I ain't talking about a stage light, I ain't talking about that, it was a light that honestly that was coming from you. And I told you, I said you are walking in your purpose.
I appreciate it. Got to.
Now, with this pandemic, has it affected your poetry?
I would say yes and no. As far as like major events, all my major paid gigs, even traveling outside the states in the country, all were canceled. But you know, where there's a will, there's a way. So if I can get on live and encourage somebody for 2 or 3 minutes, I'm doing it. So my supporters and everyone out there knows that I'm still around and still good, and I'm supporting them as well. And I'm looking to see if they're okay. But there's also Zooms. I can't even begin to tell you how many Zoom events I've been on, live Zoom events. Not from just here, from New York, from across country, from Florida, from Cali, from Chicago. One I was on in Chicago a couple weeks ago, and it's just like people from all over that you're like, wow. So now like people are sending you friend invites, and you're like, okay, how do you know me? How do you remember me? And you're like, you were just on a Zoom. I think your work is awesome. You're this or that, and it's dope for me. I still get an opportunity to express, even if I was on the corner. If I had to go stand in front of the bus terminal, that's what I'm gonna be. The mic, you can take the mic anywhere. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta get up and go. And that's my, that's my thing. I'm always mobile and accessible. So it really hasn't, I can't say monetarily, okay, we can, I can do without that. I need it, but I need some money. Pass off some money. Hit up the Cash App.
You can shout out your Cash App.
$ELLEVINTAGE. L Vintage. Capital E, capital V.
Do you have a favorite poem or project that you've ever worked on?
I have lots of them. A lot of them. I would say, you know what? I'm gonna say that one of my favorites was Coffee After Dark. We did a tour down in Georgia, and we came back up and we did Eastern Shore. And what's crazy is we had plans. We was blindsided, and other things transpired. I'll tell you how God worked. We got to Georgia. We didn't have like proper hotel arrangements. The sister that set us up to get down there, she took us to Albany and took us to her family's house. And it was like 8 of us stayed in this family house, and they fed us and took care of us and like really opened the doors. Like I slept on the floor traveling. Like, look, I don't care how I get there, how I be. It's gotta happen. I'll sleep on the floor, crash outside in a tent. You know what I mean? Because it's especially when you're like doing a lot of different things, or when I ain't gonna say a lot of different things. I'm gonna say when you know what your purpose and plan is, you have to get to the point where it, by any means necessary. You know what I'm saying? Because you lose your audience if you keep canceling things. I'm gonna be there, now I can't go. There only gonna be 2 people here and there. My favorite project, my favorite time was with Coffee After Dark. We did a project where it was like subway work, and we all had a portion in part of that. It was like a skit. But it panned out so dope. We performed that actual piece at Maryland Eastern Shore University. And when I tell you, it shut down everything, we shut it down. But other than that, I would have to say my Fatherless Child piece. That's a signature piece by my dad. And it just is stuck with me. No matter where I go, people request to hear it. And I'm actually revamping it so I can record it now. So it's gonna be coming out. Pops is my man, but he was rough around the edges. You know what I mean? I had to chase him. And my mom looked at me. She said, "You should never have to chase anybody. They should be coming to you. Don't chase your father. He should be coming to you."
I'll say just a little snip, but we won't get into it because me and her had a conversation. I can't believe as you talk, I'm just thinking about, because we went to Philly together.
Yeah, yo.
And performed at Just Words together. And
Yeah, I was there too.
Bust it out, man.
But I remember having that conversation about not chasing, and your mother always being the type, she has the same view as you. I'm not gonna force no man.
Word.
If put him on child support and do all.
Because you know what needs to be done.
My mom didn't wait around for none of that.
Yeah.
She took care of us. She allowed us to know you guys are accountable and responsible, but you don't wait around for nobody to do nothing for you. Like independency, we was taught that at here. Learn how to cook, clean, and wash your clothes. Know how to do your hair, know how to take care of your room, know how to take care of your body. She didn't play around with that. And I'm grateful for that because even with my own children, with my 3 boys, I don't force them into having to search out their father.
No, you can't
Because-
force those relationships.
Yeah, you're like 5 minutes away. You have young black teenagers. You should have no excuse as to why you're not getting to them. Because this is the most important time of their life. And guess what? Each one of them have their own set of emotions in reference to their father.
Of course.
And he won't answer the phone.
And you never have to poison a child.
You
That's
know-
Pete. That's the misconception that
And guess
the
what?
parent that's present is poisoning
They know
the child
that
that's
too.
present, the child that's not. But
Absolutely.
that's the narrative they like to use.
Yeah, of course. And what's sad about it is that the world would dictate that the mother is responsible for everything, but yet she's wearing 2 hats, 2 sets of shoes, 2 pair of pants. In the morning she's gotta be mom, wanna go. At night she's gotta be mom and dad. You know, and the world dictates that the women
But it's okay
are
for
the
that to
issues,
happen.
and it's okay for a man to do that. It's never okay, especially when it comes to rearing your children. They have questions that they want to ask, and in some instances, and a lot of instances, as far as male children, as women, we can't answer all of their questions because we don't have that anatomy structure. We don't have the testosterone. You know what I'm saying? We don't have the mentality. We don't know what it feels like to scratch your.
It was too creative.
Exactly. Yeah. we don't know why you itching down there. Like we gotta take and we have to acknowledge ourselves now. Exactly. And equip ourselves
Right.
to take care of them mentally. You can, as women, we can raise men.
Yeah, but you definitely need that masculine
Exactly.
energy there to
Yeah.
show them
Balance
one how to use that masculine
Mhm.
energy, how to be a man, you know, how to deal with things on a male perspective
Exactly.
as opposed to the woman's perspective. And you know that leads us, we talked about stuff like that earlier in our previous shows. But speaking of topics, what would you think would be a great topic for us to discuss?
I think we should go down to the new beach. I think we should take a party bus to the new beach.
Our next time,
Can nobody say? If you are explorative with your body, you want to know what the new beach has. I do. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, we give like
There we go.
Oh, but we should interview a nudist.
A nudist.
We got to find one.
We
We
gotta
got
find
to
It's
find
a
one.
totally
You gonna
different
be live?
mentality in life.
On screen?
I don't think you want to sit on the couch.
We got
But they
people
had
doing
nude
stuff.
people here.
Oh yeah, you right.
They hate nude people.
Shout out to Drips with
We
the
just have to blur it out.
Yeah, shout out. We are doing this double shot series at Drip, so shout out to Drip.
Big ups, Prince. Big ups. I miss my boys.
I do have a question. Do you feel like business owners and artists have a responsibility to give back to their community?
Absolutely. 100%. Because if we don't do it, especially for us in our communities, who's going to do it? You would rather put someone out there as a leader of the community, but they're not on the front line with you. They don't come to serve the community. When something's going down, they're not there. When somebody's being shot, they're not there. But yeah, our communities are on the front line. And the news stories is on the front page headline. You know, every negative thing. I'll tell you why I say that. Yesterday I served at an event, not served at an event, but I took place in an event in Atlantic City where it was like all black owned vendors in entertainment. There was not one shootout, no one stole anything, no one fought, no one argued. People were no, it was in Atlantic City. It was up at Oscar Clinton Park.
Okay.
Jasmine Graves put it on. Yeah, listen, and how we found out about it is she said she was talking about it, and we wanted to get my little man, my little son has his own business now. Yeah, Fly Guy Design. Shout out to Fly Guy Designs by Jay.
Yes.
My little man is doing his own bracelets, making
Follow him
his
on
own jewelry.
Instagram.
You know what I mean? And when I tell you he loves to do it, he loves. It's a passion. And so yesterday was his first vending event. She didn't say, oh no, he's not over 18, he can't come. No, she implored it. She was like, he was the youngest on that list, and his name was actually on the flyer.
Yes.
And when I tell you it shut down everything, I said, bro, this is a different perspective. He said, I'm ready. He was out there in the heat, creating and curating bracelets and anklets for people. One hand. And there was no issues. Kids was coming up to the table. Oh, I want that, Mom. Can I get that? And he was making bracelets. And there was no issue. But I didn't see not one politician down there. I didn't see the news down there. Shout out to Damaris, shout out, because Damaris was the host.
Yeah.
And we killed it. We enjoyed it. It was thoroughly an enjoyable day. But we don't have in your community the things that are positive.
Yeah, where was the news coverage?
But you know what? I really just think that if you're a business owner in this community, if you're, it don't matter what business you own, a restaurant, bike shop, whatever you own. If you're an artist in this community, you should be giving back to your community. Because somebody gave back to you when you was there. Somebody put something into you. And so now, you're gonna walk away and act like you big and buff, you high up on a hill, and you don't come back to pour back into your community. And that means for me, that means you're not a part of this community. You never wanted to be a part of this community, and you shouldn't have a right to come back to this community. I said something like this, right? Isn't it funny that if you're from Atlantic City and you move to Trenton, right, and it's time to vote, that you can't vote in Atlantic City, but you were born and raised in Atlantic City, and you still have a current address, or like, you know, your family is still there, even if your name isn't on the mail or you're receiving some type of mail at your family address, but you moved to Trenton. You can't vote in Atlantic City. You can't. You can only vote in.
Yeah.
But however, the billionaires and millionaires,
Vote where it is.
exactly. That has to stop because that takes away from our community strength and our community structure.
Yeah.
And then, go ahead.
For example, I was just watching a thing about that, they were talking about how, I can't think of this, I don't want to say a specific city, but they were saying how 90% of the police officers in that city don't live in that city. 10% of them live in that city. So 90% of those people take that money, that income, pay taxes somewhere else. So if their community, instead of the money going right back into the community where they're policing, it's going to other places.
I feel you.
It's not benefiting the community that they're policing.
So, on a lighter note, if you were given $1 million and only 24 hours to spend it, what's your first purchase going to be?
I would suit up all my kids with laptops and electronics that they need to supply for school. Absolutely. In both communities, Pleasantville and Atlantic City. That's the first thing. I would shut it down. Let's get them proper gear that they can use to help educate them.
All the schools and yes.
Supply them with books, supply them with laptops, and not one little cheap Chromebooks. I'm gonna give them something that's gonna last and something that's gonna work, right? And then we all gonna eat. We gonna have a good time. I ain't no use to keeping all the money for myself. You know, you take some of that, you invest it. I want to teach them how to build their own stocks.
Right.
And now we're on our Truth and Truth segment where we ask you one question. We might ask you two.
Okay.
Because you're feeling saucy. It's a double shot series.
Saucy.
That you have to answer truthfully.
Oh, my Jeopardy pose.
Let me see. What was your last nightmare about?
Wow. Actually, my last nightmare was about getting into a car accident.
Oh no.
Yeah, with my major car accident, sometimes I have flashbacks. You know what I mean? So I gotta kind of play it off like it. But it does, it ticks because it's like right there in front of your face. So my last nightmare was about the accident.
Yeah, I was at work. I know exactly how that feels.
And you don't
I wasn't
it
able.
didn't go away.
it doesn't go
Yeah,
away.
it doesn't.
It's like,
I'm still feel tense. Should I give another question?
Yes, let's do another one. This is double shot.
Double
So
shot.
let's just do one more.
all right, let's go down to the bottom.
Let's go down to the bottom. We only need one.
Is it juicier?
Yes.
All right,
You gonna like this one. Do you think sexual fantasies should stay a fantasy?
No. How else are you gonna keep spicing things up? You wanna take a fantasy and just hold on to it? Nah, you can't hold on to it.
You gotta make it reality.
Exactly. I'm trying to explore something. I'm trying to see something.
Try to see if it translates well.
Yeah. Fantasy should always be your reality. Always.
Well, thank you for participating in our Truth the Truth and answering the questions so truthfully.
So, Elle, how can people find you and give us your contact information?
They want to book you.
See you, listen to you.
I'm on all platforms of social media at Elle Vintage. I'm on Snapchat at Elle Vintage. I'm at Instagram at Elle Vintage, ELLEVINTAGE. I'm on Facebook. I got a Facebook page under Elle Vintage, and my personal page is under L'Oreal Chris, Elle Vintage Chris. So you can find me on Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram. I also have my Wix page. My website is actually under construction right now, so that'll be back up and running soon. You can connect to all of that from my Facebook. Okay. Wait, what did you say? What else did you say? Tell me what else.
Where they can find you at, your contact information, but drop the thing for the bracelets.
Yeah, so listen, my little man, Fly Guy Designs by Jay, is selling bracelets. He makes in handcrafts, his own jewelry. It's all original. You can find him on Instagram at Fly Guy Designs by Jay, and Designs is with a Z. He's also on Facebook as well, Fly Guy Designs by Jay. And you can ask him, and, if you want to curate a different design or if you want to see something different, just ask him, throw your questions out there. He'll be sure to answer them. Please purchase something from him because he's working hard. And you can also find me on YouTube at Elle Vintage Poet. I have live videos on there. I also have IGTV, so check it out. We got some great things in store. Y'all keep up with the kid. Contact information, Elle Vintage at live.com. Look me up. I'm there. Peace and love.
Peace. Sip in the sky.